We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 18 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. It's official. We're 18. We're adults now. We can drink in Quebec.
Legal.
I almost completely dropped that bit. On this week's episode of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast, we are going to talk about romance, which some of us are a little bit bitter about. And then we're going to end the whole thing with our favorite segment, What We Watched This Week, or as it's more officially known to the IRS, WWWTW. And that's topical because it's almost tax season. Anyway, Andrew, I'm pretty sure
for some of us it is tax season.
That's true. Some of us are small business owners, and there are others of us who are going to wait until June to file because we are super slow.
Last minute.
That was not for anybody who works for the CRA.
No. These are jokes, people. These are jokes.
That was definitely not my experience last year. So, Andrew, I assume that we're just going to spend an entire hour and a half talking about Jim and Pam, right? Like, that's...
Man, now that you mention it, they're not even on my list.
Really?
I don't know how they skipped my radar.
They were on like every list I saw on the internet.
They were the first one I thought of.
Some of us don't strictly use the internet for our list, Scott.
Some of us come up with it on our own, Scott.
What's that? Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I use the lists on the internet to refresh my memory of what things are. Am I supposed to just list off 50 couples?
Yes.
From why would
That
I do
you
that?
think of? Yeah, do it.
I'll retain
It's a
that kind
personal
of
list.
lists in my head.
Well, I didn't use the internet. I had to pull shit out of my ass because I tried hard, because I believe in love.
Did you just look at your DVD shelf?
Maybe.
That's not the same as the internet, though. That's completely different.
It. Anyways.
And yeah. So starting off on my list of love that I like on the small and big screen, I have Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen in the Bad Neighbors movies.
Okay.
Because they really don't look like they should be together, and I mean realistically
Anybody with
dude,
Seth Rogen?
Yeah. Like every time on TV and in a movie where you got a heavy guy with a smoking hot wife, I'm like, yes, I like that.
I know.
So I approve 100%.
I made sure to not include any of those on my list, just because I knew you'd have all of them.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, so that one, I'm like, you know what, I really like that. They're dynamic, they work well together because they're both fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're just smart enough, but they're also really stupid, and they're nuts, but she's hot, so, like, it's okay.
Yeah, well, she's the right level of crazy hot on the scale, or crazy hot scale.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, like, she's slightly more hot than crazy, so, like, it's
good.
Acceptable.
Yeah, it is.
My next one, because I really don't have much to say.
Yeah, all I could say is I
couple,
agree that's a good couple.
because I feel like Craig hasn't even seen that movie.
I haven't
seen even the second
You
one.
have?
Yeah. I saw the first one.
Have you seen
Was I with you when you saw it?
You might have been.
I feel like I might have been with you when we saw it. I
See,
think it might have been like a last
so
minute,
constantly
let's go
mentally
see it.
connected. Yeah, probably. We're just
That's
constantly
what it is. We
mentally
share
slide.
memories.
Yeah, it just nobody really knows who was there.
No. All we know is one of us was, and that's all it takes.
We both were, and that's all that matters.
So next up on my list, I've got Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal.
Again, I did include this on my list because I knew you love Sandra Bullock.
Damn right. And anyone who knows me intimately knows I love Sandra Bullock. And the fact that Ryan Reynolds' character is Andy in that movie makes it even more real for me, because Andy is a version of Andrew, which I will never go by, and don't ever call me that.
Unless
But-
it's Sandra Bullock.
You know what? Even then, I would have to draw the line. I'd be like, listen, you were married to a notorious womanizer, so
Well,
you
see,
make
she'd
bad decisions.
be more
Don't
attracted
call
to
me
you
Andy.
because of your assertiveness.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. She'd be like, oh my goodness, he just told me off, and I'm Sandra Bullock.
No one does that.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's fly to Alaska and lie to your family and say we're getting married, and then get married anyway so we can date.
And you
Give
can
me
get a
the
green card
proposal
or
too,
something.
by the way.
Yeah.
Like, Hollywood, give me the proposal too, because I just want to know how things worked out.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Just like, what did they like? I'd be down for like a how long has it been since that movie came out? Like 5-10 years?
Fuck, I feel like it was at least 7.
So I would like it's taken place like 5 years now down the line, but like they've had some kind of relationship issue,
2009. It's been
Fuck,
9 years.
Going on 9 years.
Okay.
Jesus.
So they still need an extra year to make it. So let's say 10 years next year. So it's 10 years. They were together for 5 of those 10, and then they've spent the last 5
They split
apart.
up.
And then some kind of happenstance puts them back together. Proposal 2. Bam.
I like it. I was thinking the same thing, kind of like the end of Jurassic World, where they kind of set it up for Chris Pratt's character and what's her face,
which they just threw away in the trailer for this next.
Yeah, in the trailer they're like, "Yeah, we split up. You dating a clown still?" And I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, that's typical.
So I'd kind of like to see like Andy left Sandra because he was like, "Listen, you were just too overbearing. I became your boss. Like, you got to let this happen."
Yeah.
And she would be like, but I'm Sandra Bullock," and I'll be like, "She is Sandra Bullock, bro. She's got you there. She's got you there."
It's hard to argue with.
Absolutely. Next on my list, and Craig, I think you're really going to like this one. I've got Bob and Linda Belcher.
They were on my list too. They were on
Damn
my
right.
list too.
See that's that Unimind going on.
That's Bob's Burgers, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Bob's
I
Burgers.
just want to make sure I was on the same page.
Robert's grilled ground beef patties on buns with sarcastic names.
Yes. Any of those fantastic names that we've come up with.
Yeah. AKA Bob's Burgers for those of you at home.
Yeah.
Keeping score.
I for me anyways, I like that like they just accept that they're poor and they're just struggling to get by, and like they accept that they're like upper lower class, and they just go through shit. Like they have fun with whatever they do. And I think it's just I like each individual character, so I'm okay with seeing them as them.
I think that they're probably the most normal of the animated couples.
Yeah, nothing really over the top happens.
No.
Like it's all believable.
It's very real
Like
life
all
type
of it's
things.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's slightly
but
ridiculous,
at the
but it's
same time,
it's like
yeah.
I could see that happening to a small business owner who's trying to make it work with his burger shop. I could see him having competitions from some weirdo in a bar across the street. I haven't watched the show too much. I can only reference random scenes.
No, that's totally it.
Yeah.
That's like the entire
that's like
show
half
right
the
there.
show.
Well, those are the spots I've caught on from it, but yeah, no. Like, what I've noticed about them is that they do play really well off each other. I like that. Like, I like their kind of weird balance because sometimes they'll like I've noticed like from some episode one of them will be a little more crazy about a certain idea that the episode's based around,
and the other one tries to like bring them down.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they come together and become both crazy.
Exactly, and I really like that because it's just like, yeah, that's how couples should work. I imagine. I don't know how couples really work. I'm single.
Plus they
Scott's not
sing
bitter.
they sing some pretty good songs together too.
Yes, I love a couple that sings together.
Yeah,
It's one of my
couple
favorite.
that sings together, or the couple that harmonizes together, will live in harmony together.
Perfect example.
I
of
thought you were gonna try to
of
rhyme
Bob
it. I was
and
like,
Linda.
what rhymes with harmony?
No, Nope, nothing. Nothing rhymes with harmony. But
Don't hit me with the car mini.
Perfect example of Bob and Linda. I was watching yesterday the episode where Bob goes to learn how to dance, and he ends up
Yes,
learning
and he
how
does
to do
hip hop.
Yes,
What was that? That's Valentine's Day, isn't it?
yes, it's a Valentine's Day episode.
Where him and Teddy go.
Yeah,
And it's like the most white hip hop ever.
it's the middle-aged lady, and her son is super hip hop, and he does the part in the episode that gets me is he does this stupid face, and he just holds it for 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
It's great.
Well, that's hip hop, man.
Exactly, that's hip hop. Anybody else got something on their list? I don't want.
Yeah, I have a couple
anything.
more. I'll give you
Okay.
one more, and then we'll bounce around. We can come back
Okay.
to me later.
Okay.
My next one, I've got George Clooney and Julia Roberts in the Oceans trilogy.
Nice, I like that. I didn't
Oceans
think of
11,
them.
12,
Yeah.
and 13. Mainly because I love me some George Clooney.
Yep.
And there's just something about Julia Roberts that's alluring to me. Like, it sucks
see
me in,
that.
and I have no explanation for it. Like, she's stunningly gorgeous, but also very boring at the same time. And I think it just intrigues me. Like, she's one of those people, like, you'd look at her and you couldn't figure out, like, what's going on. Like,
that's true, actually.
You're,
like,
you're
I don't
totally
know.
like,
are you an actress, or are you a author, or are you a chef? Are you
yeah.
Are you a lawyer? Are you a director?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Did I see you at a Christmas party once?
Yeah.
Like, there's something about her. Like, she could be an everyday person, but she's also an A-list celebrity.
Yes, I know what you mean. I definitely understand that quality with her. That quality you see in her.
Oh, for sure. So that's my first four. They're not my top four. They're just the first four that's popped into my mind.
Nice.
Craig, what do you have on the go?
So I obviously had put Jim and Pam from The Office on there. I'm glad
to hear. Why? Why'd you put them? Give me a reason, other than the obvious ones.
Because everybody else does.
Because they're the cutest couple ever.
Yeah, they're kind of like without being over the top aspirational, they're still like we're kind of where you want to get to, or at least
my only issue with that couple is the fact that, and they kind of pointed out at the end of the series, and it's like, how did she fall in love with someone with that fucking hair? Like, his first 4 seasons, the hair was just atrocious.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, like, in style at the time.
No, he just had bad hair.
It was just, what?
Yeah, no.
And then he eventually starts parting it and, like, kind of brushing it back and feathering it a little bit. And it's still off.
They finally had enough money in the budget to afford him a hairdresser.
To get him a barber.
Before he only had makeup, and they couldn't afford someone to do hair. And then in, like, the 6th season, I guess, I don't know, I never really watched the show that much.
They're like, shit guys, we got a brush. Here you go.
There you go.
Like, John Krasinski has great hair. Like, in everything else he's been in, great hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was part of his character development that his hair had to be trash, and as he grew as a person, it got better. But that's my only issue with that couple, is that
early Jim had given up
hair.
on, everything else.
That's true.
He wasn't super psyched about his job. That kind of thing.
He was super psyched about goofing off, though. So, like,
yes.
You'd think to try and impress Pam, he'd brush his hair.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know about you guys, but anytime I go on a date, like, it's got to be, I got to shower right before, I got to do my hair. 9 times out of 10, I make sure I, like, line up the beard so I'm looking as fresh as possible. A little extra spritz of cologne along the neck, some on the wrist, so that way no matter what I do, you can get a whiff of something good. Like, I make an attempt.
Nah.
Like, you can't go to work with that hair every day and expect to marry her.
I show up as I am.
Well, I think I didn't watch the show probably as much as either of you. Like, I can't say I've watched the whole thing, but I've watched enough to say that I think it was just part of his character, was that, like, he was, like, a little bit carefree about those types of things. So it's like, and that was also part of her character, was that she kind of saw past, like, just looks kind of deal. Does that make sense? That's the way I interpret it.
I've been a gay best friend to a lot of women.
Okay.
And let me be honest, everyone I know is just as shallow as every man I know.
Yeah.
No one looks that far past. Like, anyone I know with hair like that, not happening. They're with their own person with hair like that.
It's okay.
You're talking to a hair guy.
I agree. So I'm not going to disagree with you. But what I'm going to say is, it's also a TV show. So
I can't accept it.
The writers wrote it that way.
I blame Steve Carell. That's it's his fault.
I think we can
somehow.
all agree on that. Actually,
it's Steve Carell's
fault
because he had his own hair issues with that show, which will be another topic for another day.
That's one thing that confuses me sometimes when I see clips from that. And I'm just like, is this all the same show? His hair changes a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's at one point it's like really slicked back, and then it's
the first season he's balding, he's slightly heavier.
Yeah.
And then the second season they moved his part over.
Yeah.
And then by the 4th season, no more bald spot. Like, he didn't get it fully filled in because where the part is, it's got the same thing as. Yeah, like where, like, it's the same receding hairline kind of as like Craig and I have, like
maybe
right here.
We were watching the evolution of wig technology. Maybe that's what we're watching. The Hollywood wig technology was evolving in front of our eyes at The Office.
Maybe somehow The Office got Elton John money so they could afford to get like top of the line.
Top of the line, yeah. It's very.
He was ahead of the curve and started putting McDonald's French fries on his head.
That's what it was.
I saw that article, and all that made me think was, this explains why I'm so freaking hairy. McDonald's French fries explains this.
Basically bathing in it.
This. Yeah. Well, I worked there for 7 years.
Exactly.
I lived
basically
in the fries.
In it.
It's exactly.
To the air.
It explains so much. I'm living.
I wouldn't be
proof
surprised
that
if
article
it has
if
nothing to do with the fact that you're French, Scott.
Well, that could be the other thing. I'm
sure
very
that's it.
Eastern European, so that's probably the other part of it.
That'll do it, because us Western European people, we're not the hairiest folk.
Yeah,
we have hair, but it's typically fine hair.
If it's because it
Nice
wasn't
and
as
clean.
cold where you were, we had. It's not. Anyways. Why are we talking? Well, let's get back on the movie.
We're
this
really
is
just
the
the hair
problem
podcast
topic.
now.
Yeah, it's just
Hey
Luckily
everybody,
forgot
welcome
we've-
to episode number 1 of We Like Hair.
we like hair.
We're as good at naming this podcast as we were at naming our last one.
Damn right. So who else is on your list?
Yeah,
other
let's
than
move this
the
forward.
hair problem and Pam?
Yeah,
I added Marshall and Lily because Scott had brought it up.
I like it. Let's talk
okay.
about
I
it.
think it's for the same reasons as Jim and Pam. They're kind of, I mean, besides the fact that entire show is incredibly far-fetched,
Yeah,
in the more fine ways, Marshall and Lily are kind of an ideal,
yeah, they're nice little
including when she disappears and goes to San Francisco.
Yeah, because that adds to their story a little bit. That even though they were separated for a little bit, they were able to come.
And I
together.
rewatched it again, and it seemed to me the first time I watched the show, it took them a lot longer to develop into the married couple. But then I watched it again, and I was like, damn, there's like 3 episodes.
It's like, what,
the hell?
episode 7 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you gotta remember
Yeah,
that's also the
it
difference
seemed
between
fast.
watching it in a day over 7 weeks.
That's true. That's true.
Because I always feel that way about every superhero show I rewatch. Is I'm like, oh, this moves a lot quicker than I remember. A lot more happens, and I'm like, oh, it's because I went a week in between every episode I watched of this before. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I like with Marshall and Lily, like the quirkiness between each of them.
Yeah,
Like they're just so weirdly perfect for each other.
yeah, that's what I was
And
gonna say.
they
too.
have such a comfortable relationship, too.
Yeah,
Like, they
Like,
really
there's the whole
understand each other.
Yeah. Like they have the one episode that's like the entire their arc in the episode is just their firsts.
yeah.
And it hits kind of a low where they're like, oh, we're out of firsts, and then they find one, they're like, oh yeah, we have a first.
Yeah, then they realize
was-
that they have so many more firsts, like a first child
Yeah.
and a first home, and that was a little corny ending for me. But
The
whatever.
first home, and then they come back to their previous home anyway.
Yeah, they're so lame with this shit. But no, I loved Lily and Marshall for the same kind of reasons, that they're their own unique, very unique selves, but they fit together perfectly. Their weirdness is simpatico, or whatever you want to call it. Like, just meshes well together, and so that's what I really enjoy about that couple as well. But Craig, what else do you got on your list?
I have one more on my list
Oh, that's
because,
good.
as our listeners know, I am so well prepared every
Nice.
episode. This is going to come up again in my What We Watch this week, but I have Clark and Ellen Griswold on my list from the National
name
Lampoon
sounds-
movies.
There we
Okay.
go, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I know this. I
Okay.
should
the
know
name
this.
sounded familiar. But
I'm
I
like,
was
he's definitely
uh,
said that to me, that name before on this podcast.
I have. Because I talked about Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
But
makes
they're-
makes me need a Tylenol.
Where's the Tylenol? I like them because, well, I mean, the relationship's pretty far-fetched, as are the movies that their relationship's built around. But kind of like everybody else that's been on my list, they get along really well. And even though Ellen walked out of a motel room to see Clark in the pool with a naked lady, they're still married. And it just went on like nothing happened. But
And that's what you
Sometimes
want. That's
weird
what you
shit
want
happens.
from a wife. She'll forget when you're hanging out with other naked ladies. Well, that's what I want.
I don't
in a
know.
wife. Wait, what?
You listen
keep
to
going,
these-
keep going, Craig. Keep going.
they're
let's
both
pass that.
they're both crazy in their own way, though. So I guess that's kind of how they get along, is that Ellen will do something that's absolutely insane, and Clark will do something that's absolutely insane, but they'll do it at different times. So they
Yeah.
kind of work their way back to the normal in the movie always ends with a happy middle point.
Yeah, happy slight reconciliation of something.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll keep working their ways back to you, babe.
Didn't take long for a song. Wow.
Scott,
what's on your list before we continue with that?
This is a love episode. There's like every song pretty much is about love in some way, so
that's fair ish. What about Die Mother Effer Die by Drowning Pool?
Never heard it.
That's
so
that was in the trailer for like when Rambo came back. You know, when we got the remake, or not the remake, but like the newest Rambo back in like 10 years ago now, 10, 15 years ago now.
I don't remember it.
No, I think that's where I remember hearing that song. Anyways, that's totally off topic.
It's probably got some type of anti-love is still love. Hatred is still a type of love. They love to hate.
That's fair. That's a good argument against that. Anyways,
boom.
Let's just move on. Should I just move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit us with your number one. Or your first.
Yeah. So I have a lot of TV show couples for the most part on my liked list because most movie couples annoy me a little bit, or I don't connect well with most.
It's kind of a lot of movie couples. There's no build up. We were talking about this before.
Yeah, we were talking about that before.
They kind of either
they
give it to you, or there's like a lot of over the top nonsense that happens to bring them together.
Yeah, some like grand gestures that it's just like, well, no, that's not realistic.
Like having to run through the airport to catch them before their flight. Like there's no fucking way.
Setting up a flash
even
mob.
Like back in the like there's no way back in the day like any TSA screener would say, "Oh yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, go ahead. You're clearly like, it's not like a terrorist would ever think of. Oh, I just gotta say bye to the girl I love.
This isn't Casablanca times where you can slap a woman, get by them, and just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
They'll tase you now. Send the dogs out.
Yeah. This isn't the cutaway in Family Guy where Chris races to the airport.
That's the exact thing I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I get knocked down, but I'll get up again. And then makes out with an old lady.
Yeah, with the old lady.
So
or not another TV movie. They use that in a lot of spoofs. Anyways, back to the list.
Sorry, Scott.
I was trying to bring it back. I was trying in some way. But yeah, so we were talking how we get to build. We spend more time with TV couples, and that's probably why I tend to like some more of them. So my first one on my list would be Monica and Chandler. A lot of similar to a lot of the couples we've mentioned before. They're very unique weirdnesses, but they fit well together on their crazy. Like they both have different types of crazy, but it fits well together. And I always really like the way they kind of joke together and how they kind of. This mainly their craziness that like it's just like, oh, they're both a little crazy, but their craziness meshes and it goes well together. And I always liked Monica and Chandler. I know Andrew's not the biggest fan of Friends.
I'm not a huge fan of Friends.
Yeah, I agree. I liked Monica and Chandler better than Ross and Rachel.
Ross and Rachel ain't on my list anywhere because I'm just like, I don't care about them. They're annoying. They're on a break.
Yeah, honestly, I'm
like whatever.
I'm gonna go on record as saying I'm gonna say 54% of the reason I'm not a fan of Friends is because of Rachel. If they dumped her from the
Okay, I could see that.
Actually, I'm not a huge fan of Jennifer Aniston. In general, I can tolerate her, but I don't like Rachel's character.
I could see that.
Like
her character, especially in the first couple seasons, is super annoying.
Like, there's no way most of those characters could be able to afford to live in Manhattan. I'm
always annoyed by that kind of argument. It's always just like, well, it's a TV show. They have a big lot because they need to fit cameras around the set. That's why they have a big apartment. That's it. It's not because rent control exists in their universe. It's because you need enough space for cameras to roll around.
Rent control.
To get past that, I just don't like her entire arc as a person. I've got no use for her.
That's kind of fair.
Like, there's nothing really appealing about her character, at least to me.
Yeah.
She's her slight lack of ambition, willingness to blame everything on the universe. Like, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
So, Ross, my man, you like dinosaurs. You can do better.
No, he can't.
You're David Schwimmer, so you probably can't do better. But
that was my problem with Ross, is that he was always getting with women way out of his league. And I'm like, no.
It's because he had a steady paying job.
It's because he had a well-paying
And he liked
job. Let's not be
dinosaurs.
lying. It's because he had a well-paying job. He's the one who was
for sure,
supporting
man.
everybody on that show. Him and Chandler. That's how everyone could afford places. Chandler and them are the fucking sugar daddies stealing it out to everybody.
They say money can't buy happiness, but money can buy you shit, and
It can pay for
shit
dates.
creates happiness. Damn right, it can.
You can't take a girl out for a nice steak dinner unless you get money to pay for a nice steak dinner. Joey shows that. Well, Joey kind of shows this because Joey's that weird exception to the problem where he's handsome and charming enough that he doesn't always have to buy them stuff, but he also has to borrow, like when him and Ross compete, he borrows money from Ross so that he can take the girl out on a nice date. Anyway, so what I think we decided was that the best couple from Friends, though, was Phoebe and Paul Ross's character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved, like, Phoebe was probably my number 2, and, you know, my number 3 favorite character on the show.
Yeah.
Just because, like, somehow she managed to get through life. And I love those stupid characters who, like, there's no way they'd be alive in the real world. Like, something would have hit them.
Yeah,
like,
they would have
bolt of
actually been hit
lightning.
by a car.
A bus,
Like-
probably a bus.
Yeah. Like, but definitely.
For sure. Okay, but we should move on from just talking about Friends
Yes.
for so long.
I
didn't
can't
think
believe
that would
how
go that
in
far.
depth of a conversation we had about Friends with Andrew sitting in the same speaking
Being
space.
part of I was most of
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say
conversation.
that too. Like, it was mostly him too. Cause I don't want to get myself
Andrew just
started.
did
I
a-
could do a whole episode.
I'm
on
not
it.
a fan of the show, but I've seen every episode like twice,
Yep.
so
I've seen them.
I'm
so many
allowed to
times.
have an opinion on it because I've seen them.
You put the time in. There's 10 seasons.
Damn right.
20 something episodes a season. It's a dedication to get through those seasons.
That's 400 times I've seen Friends.
Yep.
Quick math.
Very quick math. But let's move on the list. The next couple I have is Lois and Clark. Just so this is like a fictional type character.
Which
Well, see,
incantation?
that's what I was about to.
It
let's-
better be Smallville.
Well, that's the main one. That's where this came from on the
Okay,
list. Was
good.
that I love that one, but I also was saying that I just love them as a couple in just all forms.
Okay.
So like in the comics, I like the way their relationship works. So, like both, like usually their character, like, you know, he's a little bit more timid.
He's like physically strong,
Yeah.
where she's headstrong.
Exactly.
And it goes together. He's got the brawn. She's got the get the fuck out of my way.
I
Let
like
me do
the
this.
contrast between the opposites attracting thing, and that's how it feels with them. So, but yes, my favorite portrayal of that was in Smallville because Tom Welling and I always forget her name, Eric. No, is it Erica something?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. All I know, like, I refer to her as Lois
Yeah,
Lane
so do I.
from Smallville because that is who she is as a person to me.
Same here.
She's also gorgeous, so
Very
she gets a free pass for me.
She's awesome. Yes, but yes,
But the way she plays that
yeah,
role too,
and
like,
the way
it's-
she had the very headstrong thing like really well. I thought she was one of my favorite like actresses to have played Lois Lane.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like between her and like the animated versions, those are definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
I did like Amy Adams' version where like she didn't like I don't need no man.
Yeah.
Like not in your face with it, where she just
Not too in your
actually
face with
didn't
it.
need
Yeah.
one.
That was my slight
she
problem
just
with the one
did
from
her
the
own thing.
70s. Was she was a little too in
Yeah.
your face about it.
Well,
but she was still great.
She was
She's
the damsel.
first, but
yeah.
like I still.
She was the damsel in distress at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like their turn they took with her, where her father was a military guy, and that's why she's a little more of a tomboy. I like that aspect of
Yeah.
it a lot more. I don't know if that was only for like if the character took that turn in the comics as well as Smallville, or if it was like a little bit of both of an evolution. But I really like that about her character, and I feel it really works well with the fact that, you know, Clark Kent can be like the super strong guy, but he has to pretend not to be because when he's around Lois at some points, and so she gets to, you know, be her tough self, and he gets, you know, he just has to kind of accept it. And I like that he doesn't have such a big ego that, you know, would affect him. 'Cause some dudes in TV shows wouldn't be able to handle that kind of thing. So that's what I really like about their dynamic.
Oh yeah, see, specifically about Smallville, like their relationship for me is, like I kind of like the fact that she was a hussy. Like
Yeah.
there's no beating around the bush. She was a hussy.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like 8 different guys. Like you didn't see her hooking up with, but like
she got around
it's
a little
implied.
bit. Yeah.
Considering 2 out of 3 of the 5 main Justice League members in the show,
in her defense,
she hooked up with.
In her defense, this was like 15 years ago. Not as many women were writing back then. We've evolved since then as a culture. But yeah, I agree.
Anyways,
Smallville did kind of fuck her over.
To me, I see it as she was a hussy.
Yeah,
but
it was too much of a.
But then,
what is it? A young adults TV show? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Teen drama.
Well, I was just saying, like, I like that she was a hussy, and then like she like got tamed.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, you know, she found her match. And like that just made it even better because Clark was like, man, you know, she's the one.
Yeah, I like that too. I agree with that.
Like he'd only been with 2 people prior, so like, seeing
even
that happen,
though,
because
like, a couple of times when he went Red Kryptonite, he would, and we don't know about those like the months in between seasons, right? Because
that's true.
Because they always had that like gap, like especially when he went. We're so off topic, but when he goes Red Kryptonite for that,
let's do it.
So when he goes Red Kryptonite for like at the end of was it season 3, I think, or 4?
4, I think.
Yeah, and he goes off to
right
Metropolis.
as he's getting ready to leave. Yeah, he's right. It's like his last year,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it would have been 3.
So yeah, we don't know how many girls he took back to his place in that month. He could have been doing it every night. That's some numbers. So
that's true.
I'm just defending Tom Welling or defending what's her name, because the show in general just had a bunch of sluts. Every character on the show
every man, every woman.
Yeah, everybody was with everybody, but it was a teen drama.
The only people who weren't were the Kents, like the parents.
Yes.
And even then, we don't know.
Even
we
then,
don't know what
like,
type of weird shit they were into. Maybe that's why they didn't have kids. That was the real reason why they couldn't have kids.
Even what's her name made out with Lionel once, didn't she, or something like that?
That's true. He made a move on it.
Yeah, so, you know.
After like he gave her the watch or whatever.
Yeah, and I think like Jonathan Kent gets like possessed at one point by something. Like he gets some like
Zod.
No, but like there's some like spell or like something going around the town, and everybody's kind of like being
now that you
aggressive
mention
selves.
Now that you mention it, Tom Welling, Superman might have hooked up with Zatanna. Like they kissed that one time, and Chloe walked in on it. Maybe they went further. I mean, I
hope
can't
for
say
his sake.
She's
my favorite.
She was another knockout.
Like, if I could make one comic book character come to life, it'd be her. Because I'm just like, I want you in my life. She probably wouldn't stick around, but
one like super heroine that would be your go-to.
Yeah, I love her. I like all the times she's been around. Her, like I like that like get up with the magician get up, and I like magic.
That's fair.
Anyways,
see, for me, like
we're not talking about my couple.
That's true. Let's get back to your list of couples.
Yes. Okay. So the next one I had was a couple from the shows from the Buffy the Vampire show. So I liked Buffy.
Between that and Angel, or
her and Angel.
Between both of them, or
her and Angel, and then also there was another couple side characters whose relationship was Xander and Anya, and Xander was just her best guy friend who always had a crush on her, but eventually learned that he was never going to get with her. You know that character in the shows?
Yeah, it sounds like every show in the 90s.
Yes, so he was that guy, but eventually he gets to find his own love, and it's this chick who used to be like a revenge demon, right? But then she loses her powers and just is a normal human, and then so she's always just kind of like so she's very similar to Lois from Smallville in the sense that she's very headstrong and very like out there going, because she used to have all these powers, but now she doesn't, so she's a little bit more fragile, but she's still like, she's headstrong, but she's not like physically strong anymore. So her and Xander kind of fall in love. It's the whole thing, but I really like their dynamic because they're both, again, weirdos who find each other. That's a very big theme among my thing, is weirdos finding each other. 'Cause that's the only thing I'll ever have hope for. Yeah. Anyways, I know neither of you have really watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. So I have no comment on the matter.
Yeah. So that's why I just
she was a good she was a good what's her face Daphne in Scooby Doo. So
I forgot that wasn't a good couple. No. I like that Daphne as a couple in
that was not a good couple.
Yeah, that was a terrible couple at all. Yeah. Anyways, we should move on to some good couples. So I actually have one movie that I did write down that I like. Ooh. And that's Han and Leia, which is a little cliche maybe, But
that one feels like cherry picking.
Well, it feels right
but
for
at the
us.
Same time,
but it's also
so is
pardon
Jim and Pam and Marshall. So is Jim and Pam and Marshall and Lily though. So I mean,
a little bit.
I'll let you have that one.
Yeah. Well, see, the reason for me though is like Han and Leia. I always like when opposites attract. You know what I mean? Like those two. Like you wouldn't expect. It's the classic,
princess and the criminal.
Exactly, the princess and scoundrel to get together, and it's like, yeah, again, it's cliche, but I'm a cliche guy. I love the hero's journey. That's why I love all these things, like I like a classic tale, a classic cliche, and that's why I really like Han and Leia.
That's why you forgot to grow up.
Exactly, I'm just like that. I didn't get past the cliche things, and that's why I like Han and Leia, because I just like that dynamic between the opposites and the fact that she's a little more stuck up and he's just a scruffy looking nerf herder.
You don't get to say that. That's their word, man.
I know. See, Star Wars is the one thing I can do quotes from.
See, I just quoted the Family Guy Star Wars,
well,
so
I quoted
you got
Han.
Star Wars coming from
I quoted Han with "I know." Did you get that? That's
I
why especially
I missed that one.
Yeah, I was trying to go for. One. Anyways, the point is that particular line's the thing that made me really fall in love with them as a couple. Because I'm just like, that's the dynamic they have. That
would be the dream to be able to say that and get away with it.
Well, that's when you know it's love. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it, like, you don't have to say it back.
He says it, and then she goes through hell to try to save him.
Yeah,
like that's
exactly. She's like, you better say it back. That's exactly what I want. Like, if I'm going away. I want to leave a little cliffhanger for you, lady. So I know you might come try and unfreeze my ass from carbonite.
Just so she can kick your ass, she'll come save you.
Exactly. But then she ends up kissing him and getting put in a bikini. But that's beside the point. I enjoy that couple.
And the bikini.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all the ones I had for my favorite / couples I like from stuff. I do have some least favorite ones. Do we want to talk about those now, or should we?
See, I was gonna pitch that at you guys when I was done my list, because I have a few least favorites as well.
So finish
not
up,
many, just a handful.
Let's finish up with the favorites then, and then we'll get to all our least favorites.
My next one up on the list, I think I have 6 left.
Okay.
6 or 7.
Let's do it.
My next one on the list, and it's not even the fact that it's their love; it was just the fiery passion behind it, which sometimes gets me interested.
Yeah.
Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, and I know you guys don't know who that is. That's Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind.
Okay. Well, it sounded familiar to me. I was like, I should know this.
Which is a callback to last week's episode.
It is. It's where I thought you were going with last week's episode, and then you betrayed me, and you did the same thing this week. This seems to be a common theme.
Yeah. Gone with the Wind is passion. Which is what it is. Like their relationship is fucking toxic right from the get-go. Like she's a manipulative bitch. He knows it, and he's just like, you know what? This is cool.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta
do. Life sucks. Let's die together. Like that's the whole mentality.
Frankly, darling, I don't give a damn.
Damn right, exactly.
That's the right movie, right? That's the right movie.
Yeah, okay. That's it. But then he does give a damn.
Yeah, he
so
does.
he says he doesn't, and then just pieces. After some super sad shit that caused them to fall apart. But it's their raw poisonous passion. I'm like, you know what? I like it. Stick with it. The amount of times that happens in real relationships, I can buy it.
Yep. It's a very real love story. That's one thing. Like, I haven't seen it, but I do know some of the stuff about it, and from just the way that you described, I'm like, yep, that sounds very realistic.
Yep. Like most relationships that just hold on because they don't want to admit that one of them fucked up and shouldn't have said yes. Like that's the whole thing behind it. And I'm like, you know what, you guys are going through the struggle, and yet you still have your ups.
Yep.
Every cloud, also, like every shadow that's cast, you forget that there's the silver lining of the sun coming through. There is sun somewhere.
Was that a line from it?
No, that was just.
I was just like, are we going for the old? Okay, well, yeah.
That was just me trying to be deep.
I just want to make sure. Yeah.
So next on my list, I've got all the couples from specifically the first one, the Grown Ups movie.
Okay.
The Adam Sandler one. All the couples, because it's just a fun movie, and you don't see any of them super pissed off. You see them all kind of like bitchy at one point, but they're like, yeah, whatever.
They go from there. They had very good chemistry. I agree. Like I believed them all as couples. I was like, oh yeah, Chris Rock would be getting bossed around by us slightly. But
every single one of those couples they all struck me as the couples that they're middle aged. They've given up on like having the romance. They're just the wake up, go do their thing, crawl into bed, bitch about the kids, and go to sleep.
It's their job now. They've kind of fallen into that. Like, oh, we're married. That's our job. That's our life job titles.
Yeah. Yes. Like that's what I like about it. And I'm like, if they can tolerate each other, life isn't going to be so shitty.
I like how we're basing most of our life comparisons on these movies and TV shows.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, these are slightly getting more
very
and more depressing the further we
get
into these.
It is almost Valentine's Day, so...
That's the only reason we were doing this story. We were like, what could be slightly, like, related to Valentine's Day? Oh, favorite love movies? No, I can't do that, guys. I can't do it. Let's just do on-screen couples. I can pretend. Yeah. So, what's the next couple you've got?
Keeping with the Kevin James reference, I've got Doug and Carrie Heffernan, which is Kevin James and Leah Remini in King of Queens.
Yes. Yep. Right on.
Mainly because, like, as I mentioned before, I love the plus size dude with a banging wife. I like that. You
kind of teed that up at the beginning,
yeah. And she's again one of those strong-headed women, and he's dumb. And I like that.
Yes.
I like that dynamic.
Yes. He's honestly their whole relationship. Like I just picture him as like George Costanza, where he thinks he can get away with shit and pull something over the eyes.
Yeah,
doesn't happen because if you're a guy, you're gonna get busted 100% of the time.
Yeah, you're not smart enough to do
all male listeners out there, you will get busted. We are all stupid.
Yeah.
Women are evil and men are stupid.
That's what it was.
It's women are evil and men are stupid in literature.
Men are stupid. Yes.
Thank you for grade 12.
Charles Gale, you taught us well.
The one thing we all remember from his class.
It stuck with us.
It did, and it came up fucking like
too
5 years later.
Too often for a dude who was married for like 40 years.
So next up, I've got Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson.
Oh, nice. I like that.
I like them just because, like, they really had nothing in common other than both being Bat characters. And if you're part of the Bat family, you get a free pass in my book.
I've got a...
Like, Dick Grayson has been with 90% of the women in the DC collective universe.
Well, he's the most handsome man in DC Comics.
He is. I
think he's called that a couple times in DC Comics.
Yeah. Well, they make reference to it in Batman Beyond as well.
Where it
like
was,
fucking when he's an old man, they reference like that he's still got it going on.
Yep.
But like I'm not a huge fan of him in Starfire. Like I think it's just weird that like it's a dude with an alien that looks like an alien. Like that throws me off.
Fair enough.
But or like him with Zatanna, like it's not for me. But him and Barbara Gordon, I can get behind that. Because like it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like it because I'm always a big fan of it, like especially in like comic books or like movies or TV universes when like because they're kind of friends, Batman and Jim Gordon, and both their kids. And I'm just like, I like that. Yeah. I'm corny and stupid like that. I like that shit.
Like it's meant to happen.
Exactly. I'm a little weird like that. I wish there was destiny. I like that movies can have destiny because I don't believe in it in real life.
See, for me, you said Zatanna's your one you'd bring to life. Yeah. Barbara Gordon's one of my two that I would bring.
Nice. Oh wait, we're allowed two?
I'm allowed to. I said to, so I'm allowed to.
Damn it.
I guess I'll extend the willingness to you as well.
Okay.
But see, I just love Barbara Gordon and like that she kind of got into it just because like she wanted to.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100% like she was forced into it.
Yeah.
It's like she chose.
She not to do it just to get out her rage problems because her parents were murdered.
Yes.
Eventually, maybe, but not at first.
Yeah. So like I like that. Next up. I got a bromance going on. I've got Barney Stinson, Ted Mosby, and Marshall Erickson. I got some three-way love triangle.
I almost put a
polygamous movie couples. What is going on?
Yes, that aren't couples at all. I mean, Ted and Barney almost had their thing.
Yeah.
Like they almost had a baby, but
They talked themselves out that really quickly.
Yeah.
The guy got
Hurricane
you a baby guy?
Stinson.
Yes.
Why would you think that's such a... Sometimes that show went too ridiculous even for me. I'm just like, really, guys?
You'll always be Hurricane. Never forget it.
That's what you guys came to. That's what you guys came up to. You guys have such a great show. Like, I love the show, but sometimes I'm just like, really, Hurricane?
I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty dumb names out there.
Well, I agree, but you don't have to...
I mean, granted, most of them are named they're like celebrities naming their kids, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like apple.
But...
Or like, no, strawberry? I don't know. If you name your kid after a fruit, I'm just not going to enjoy your child. I'm just not going to get along.
If you're Robert Downey Jr. and you respect me as a person so much to name your kid after me, I support that.
Yes, I support that too. I always take credit for anybody naming their child Scott or Timothy or Carter. Yeah, I take credit for all three. That's right. That was for me. You know, anybody with those names, it's because of me. If they're older than me, they're welcome.
Nobody wants to call their kid Craig.
Except your parents.
But can you blame them? Can you really blame them?
I mean, yeah. That was a Bare Naked Ladies reference.
I got you. Don't worry.
Good.
You can't see me laughing, but I am.
Good. So, who do I got left on the list? Next up, I've got Michael Bolton and Carmella.
See, I thought about it. I
only put it on because when you texted me yesterday saying you were watching it, I was like, I'm gonna watch it too. I
thought about that or Baby Archer and the Cupid Shuffle.
Yes. left. So Michael Bolton and Carmella, just because he's got so much passion for her.
Yeah.
And I have no other reason. Like, it's just I thought it would be funny to mention.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah.
So I got one left on the list, and it's me and you guys. You guys are my favorites. You guys are my favorites. On to the least favorites. I'll start off with my first two. I've got Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, specifically in Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones.
Yep, that's on my list as well.
Yep. Also, you need to forever sit right on top of the microphone because your voice sounds way better
right now.
It for funny reasons. It sounds fine normally, but like it's so much more warmer and passionate. Anyway, just continue.
Okay, so I will from now on talk like this, real serious like.
Talk? You're gonna talk like this?
Talk like this.
There's our Boston reference
like
for the week.
Boston.
Doing a call back to all the episodes.
All the episodes where we talked about Boston.
Actually, I was doing a call back to our Star Wars episode where we talked about like the their relationship and how it may have been force influenced, where he was like convincing her to.
Oh, right.
Knowing or not knowing that, but thinking that every time I watch that movie now, it's just like can't do it. Plus, they're both so stony. Like, she seems like someone she's never. I mean, maybe she hadn't been intimate. I don't know, but she seems like someone who's never even like considered being intimate with someone, and then he's just creepy as fuck.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So
yes,
like,
they didn't have the best lines for their like.
No.
It was way too forced.
The dialogue in
like,
that movie. Yeah.
It was obvious.
I mean, Obi-Wan and everyone he talked to, like Obi-Wan.
I thought he was
going
gonna
to
get hooked up with everybody. Yeah, I was just like, oh man, this guy's gonna get stuff. He never did.
Man, is Obi-Wan about to mack it hard?
I thought that was gonna be the secret.
Is that gonna happen right now?
That was gonna be the secret of all, but no, it didn't work out that way.
Nope. Turns out Obi-Wan was actually like the lover of Qui-Gon. I'd be totally down for that. I would sign that petition to make it happen.
I'd be
because
cool with that.
He just dripped sexuality.
Maybe.
Whereas Hayden Christensen does not.
No,
not in the slightest.
Their whole like story and build up is just like it makes me cringe when I watch it. I'm actually just like, like what do you got? No one talks like that. Nobody. People are.
Yeah, he's
what?
Not
so
even in a galaxy
weird at the
far,
beginning.
far away.
Like nobody talks like humans don't interact that way. Like nobody does.
He doesn't even like a little bit try to hide it at the beginning.
No,
either.
that's the worst part about it too.
It'd been a while since I watched it, and like right off the hop at the beginning of Attack of the Clones,
you're so pretty.
Like right on top of it.
I've missed you. You've changed a lot.
I've thought about you every day. Whoa, man. Whoa. Whoa.
Ease it back, man.
10 years.
Ease it back.
You were 12 at the time. What?
You would not get matched on Tinder for sure.
Do you think about her every night before you go to bed? Is that what you're thinking about her? Because that's freaking creepy, man. You don't tell women that, but apparently you do because it worked for him, and they had children.
The only Tinder match he's getting is when he gets lit on fire.
I think it's better that you
3.
said that into the microphone like that. That was a good joke too, but I think it's better that you said it into the mic like that.
Because the listeners who aren't watching aren't going to know that I'm like seriously about to like mac with my mic right now. There's more sexuality between me and this mic than there was between Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen.
It's very true. I'd have to agree with that.
I agree with that.
They're just like, they looked, it was like puppets. Oh, I can't even put it into words. Let's just move on. Let's move on to another one.
Okay,
well, hang on. Where would you put? Would you rather watch CGI Yoda constantly, or Hayden Christensen and Natalie
that
Portman
depends.
do any sort of
are you
romantic
talking?
I've never had a
1,
problem
2,
with
and 3 CGI Yoda, or are you talking episode 8?
No,
CGI
1, 2, and
puppet
3
Yoda.
CGI Yoda.
I don't have a problem with any puppet
First,
Yoda.
the
I do have a
prequels.
big problem.
I'd rather
with their
watch CGI
cringiness.
Yoda.
You'd rather,
Yeah,
me too.
100%
I
Yoda.
would rather watch an entire movie about CGI Yoda.
I think the reason the Phantom
Not even
Menace
about
is
Yoda
slightly
the
more
character,
my favorite
just the
than
CGI.
The Clone Wars is because it had none of their love story in it. That's probably why.
Attack of the Clones, not Clone Wars.
Yeah, my bad.
I know. I do that all the time too.
Oh man, yeah, I'm terrible at that.
Clone Wars is the cartoon.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. Wow, I've probably done that more times on this podcast than I
Yeah,
realized.
yeah, you have a lot.
I like that we've never been corrected though.
I've just let it happen. This time I was like, we need to make sure that people know that we're talking about the super shitty love.
Because I love the Clone Wars, the TV show. Let's just be clear. Attack of the Clones, not so much.
Yeah,
I still like it because it's Star Wars, but that love story is what brings it down for me. But anyways, what?
Craig.
Oh,
who else do you have on your list of hatred?
I
you
didn't
prepare
put
for that
anything
part.
else on my
So
list.
that means
no.
Cool.
Why would I be
Scott.
prepared?
so we'll go to me. I hate the Titanic couple.
Yes,
I said it.
I support
Rose,
it. What do you
move
hate
over.
about Jack and Rose?
Well, first,
Is it because it's not Billy Zane?
no disclaimer.
Well, that too.
I haven't seen the movie since I was a young child. I just
Oh my
hate
goodness.
that they're like so like held up as this like masterpiece of a movie and the ideal movie couple and all this garbage. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, hey, guess what?
Jack could have fit on the door.
Never watched it.
Fun fact.
I don't care about it. I just don't.
Rose, move over.
Yeah,
Jack
that's
could
the
fit on
thing.
the
You
door.
both can fit on it. Like, you selfish C word. That's right. I called her it, but not really.
She basically
Well,
she okay.
she is C-word.
Let's look at Rose's entire character development. She was engaged to someone just for like the title.
Yep.
She hooked up with a dude in a car just because she wanted to hook up in a car. He got her to paint her, so she got a fucking painting out of it, or like the drawing.
Yep. That's expensive.
And then she survives and he dies. She gets everything she wants
Yep.
at his expense.
She gets a book deal after
He
she gets
almost-
off the thing.
He got locked into a friggin' room. Like, he literally got handcuffed to, what was it, a pipe or something? He got handcuffed.
Yeah. Where was she? Not trying to help. I don't know. I've never
Nothing.
seen it.
I mean, she ended up being the one to help him later on.
Oh.
But it's her fault that it happened to him.
Exactly.
He was down in the galley with the Italians and the Irish
I'm
people.
100%
Like,
certain that iceberg was just aiming for her. If she had just gotten thrown off, it
God
would have just
was
gone
like,
for her.
"Ugh."
Because it was aiming for her.
God said, I fucked up. There's a group of people I need to get rid of on this boat. It's mainly all the people who look like Peter Griffin and Rose.
And I'm the
And
baby.
I'm the baby.
There's always time
Always
for a family
time
guy
for
reference.
Family
Threw the
Guy.
Family Guy reference in there to make it clear that we were joking about the Titanic. It was a big tragedy, but there's things to joke about.
Yeah.
we're a comedy
Who
podcast.
was asking?
Too soon?
I'm the baby. Okay, so why else do you hate them?
Oh, that's mainly. It's
That's
mainly
it?
just the
That's enough,
cliche-ness to it. Like, as much as I like cliches, I also don't like you forcing a cliche on me, being like, oh, this is the best. It's mainly because they're at the top of every one of the lists I look at. When I was looking up this last night,
That's fair.
and I was like, no, I haven't seen this.
No.
Why are you here? Get out of here.
Show me more Victor Garber.
Get out of
Put
here.
him in stuff.
Exactly. I just want to see him.
Which,
in
now
everything.
that I mention it, Victor Garber's relationship with, oh man, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Joe West.
Oh, in that one Flash episode, that's my favorite.
Of the Flash.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that.
They now become number 1.
That's true.
On my list of top
asterisk
loves.
to everything we said before in this episode. All hour
Joe
of it.
West, Victor Garber.
That's our favorite.
Make it happen.
They sing, they kind of dance a little bit, and they dress.
Put a little love in your heart. They didn't sing that song, but it puts a little love in my heart.
It does, and they're great, and they're my favorite. I love them. They're great.
Love them. Love Victor Garber. Anyways, back to your list.
That's the
What's
things that
up?
I hate.
Yeah.
Along the same lines as
Like
Titanic,
love.
it has to be the Notebook.
I like that
couple.
you rolled your eyes there because you're just like, fuck, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Notebook couple. I don't even know their names. I know they're played by a couple people who are still famous.
Yeah, Ryan
today.
Gosling and
Yeah. And the reason I hate this one
is it Amy
is
McAdams? Is that who it
Yes.
was? Rachel McAdams. That's who it was.
Right.
Find
Yeah, I
out.
always get these things mixed
There you
up.
go.
Anyways, names aren't important. The important thing is this movie sucked, and I hate anybody who likes it. Not hate.
The whole premise of the
It's just
movie,
dumb.
like up until like Alzheimer's happened, it's all Alzheimer's, right?
I don't
They got
know.
some-
I've seen it
or dementia,
once.
something.
I was forced to watch it in grade 8. That's all I'm going to say about that. And that's why I hate it. But just that's mainly because I was forced to watch. Don't make me do something I don't want to do, because I'll hate it.
I forget the name of Nicholas Sparks. That's who it was.
Yeah.
If Nicholas Sparks wrote it and it's not A Walk to Remember, there's a fucking 1% chance any of that shit would happen.
Yeah, in real life, just, no.
No way.
That's not-
Like A Walk to Remember, kind of acceptable because they're high school students, and like
High school
when you're in
students'
high school.
brains aren't fully developed. They do stupid
Yeah, when you're
shit.
in high school, you're thinking about one thing and one thing only. So like whatever. But then
Orange
the fact
Tank.
that they found love and it's Mandy Moore, I'm okay with it. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Still makes me cry. I know what's coming. I still cry every time. But the Notebook can go fuck
It
itself.
can go fuck itself.
The amount of fights they got in, there's no way anyone in their right mind would put up with that
Nobody.
shit.
I don't care how good the sex
one.
is or how passionately you kiss each other in the rain. You can only shout so long before your voice literally
There's
just
only-
gives out. Your voice gives out
Like,
eventually.
Oh yeah.
You only have so
Like,
much
I don't
voice
know-
in a person, and they had too much.
No matter what cute shit you do to like try to make it work, it doesn't make up for the fact that your chemistry is off.
Yeah, and you're toxic for each other. We're just broken people. Yeah. So yeah, that's my other one. What's on your list?
Okay, so my list mainly consists of either like cartoon characters or like live action superhero stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I couldn't think of the fucking obvious ones that you pointed out that should have been number 1, 2, and 3 on my list.
Yeah, fair.
First up, I've got Batman and Batgirl in The Killing Joke.
Okay, yeah.
Because-
I hated that too.
No. I think most of us hated it. I mean, I love me some Barbara Gordon, like I said 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
but I don't want to see it with Batman.
It's
no.
weird. That's like your dad.
Batman.
He's your dad.
I mean, granted, it did happen in one of the comic strips where like she actually did get impregnated by him,
Yeah.
and that's super awkward. But
I don't like it.
I didn't need to see it in a movie. I didn't.
I think this is the problem with so many comic book writers being dudes. Because a lot of them want to see themselves as
They're horny
Batman.
all the time.
Yeah, they see themselves
Yeah.
as
I mean,
Batman.
we all see
and they're
ourselves
like,
as
well,
Batman.
the only girl in this comic book edition is Batgirl. Well,
Okay.
and it's like, no, I don't like that.
Let's be real. Batman and Bruce Wayne can have whoever
That's
they
what I'm
want,
saying.
whenever they want, or whyever they want. But it doesn't need to happen because Bruce Wayne has a job.
Yes.
Batman has a job, and that is to be Batman.
And
he ain't got time
For Putang.
to be hooking up on tops of buildings when shit's going on.
Yeah.
I don't need to see
In the
that.
middle of like a very like, and it's so like it seemed like such. I haven't read the Killing Joke, the graphic novel, but I saw the animated, and from it seems so forced and just like it wasn't
It straight up, it looks like animated sexual assault from my
a little
perspective.
bit, yeah.
Because Batman's like, bro, like, come on, like, I'll take it,
Yeah.
but no, we can't do this. And she's like, dude, it's happening, so get on board.
Yeah, but men can't be.
And then
sexually
like
assaulted,
Batman's
right?
got to go like save her after shit happens, and he's got to look fucking Jim Gordon in the eye and
I fucked your
pretend like
daughter.
that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
like that's what I mean.
Yeah, like
like you fucked like your kind of brother, your crime brother. You
yeah,
you fucked his daughter. Like
yeah, like no,
how,
you can't do that.
How are
Like,
you gonna show up to the next bat signal, being like, "Yo, man, what's What's good?
Hey man, I'm here to save crime and then go do some
I
stuff.
gotta get tested because we didn't have a condom in the bat suit.
She, I don't know, he maybe carries bat trojans or something.
Is that a thing? We should look that
Bat
up.
Durex?
Anyways.
Bat Rex? I don't know. KY Batty?
I got nothing. I got
That
nothing.
one, that was
I got
probably the-
nothing
we went
else.
too far with that
Next,
one.
Yeah.
next on the list,
Yeah.
I've got Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox in Transformers.
Shia LaBeouf and anybody really, but yeah.
Just do it.
just no.
Just don't do
Just
it.
don't, man. Just put it away.
Like,
move on. But no, I agree.
I don't like Megan Fox as it is.
I like looking at
So,
her.
like-
I'm not gonna lie.
Like I'm just not a fan
I
of
get
her.
that. She's not a good actress whatsoever.
She strikes me as the Kim Kardashian who happened to be moderately decent at acting. Like, she got famous for one thing. I know she was on that show back in the day on.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, like-
anyways, but yeah, let's talk about the reason why they sucked as a couple.
The lack of chemistry
Lack
and the
of
fact
chemistry. It was just. She was way too
was
hot
too
for
forced.
him. Why was she in
that.
the
Well,
movie?
I'm not going to comment on that because I like the underdog who gets with the good-looking girl.
I know you do.
But
I
they,
don't root for
right from
them.
the get-go, they didn't work. Like,
It's weird. Yeah, it's.
she's independent and working for herself, whereas he's trying to pretend he's independent, but he's still relying on mom and dad for everything.
Exactly. Like normally, like a lot of the ones we talked about that I like, where the woman's a little bit of a headstrong woman. Like she does fall into that character trait a little bit. I would say Megan Fox character in Transformers, she's a little headstrong, but it doesn't play well against his stupidness because he's just dumb. He's not like, kind of like playfully dumb. He's just a stupid kid and doesn't know anything and he's running around. Like, you don't shout about Transformers. No one's gonna believe you. They're just gonna think you're crazy. Like,
He rolls through life thinking he's Harvey Specter, and he's
Yeah.
not. He does not have the silver tongue. Which brings me back to another. They're not even like technically a couple,
Yeah.
but I like Harvey Specter and Donna from Suits.
oh yeah, that's a good couple.
I like them. I want them on record as being up there.
They're a good couple. Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to. Actually, it doesn't have to be Harvey Specter. It's just Donna. Like,
she's
I just like
great.
Donna. Yeah,
We
just
love
Donna.
Just Donna. We just wanted to shout out
Yep.
Donna.
Donna, I love
Donna
you.
from
I don't
Suits.
know. I can't. I don't know what your
We don't know
actual
the
name
actress's
is.
name. We're sorry. We're terrible people like that.
I've only ever seen you as Donna, but you
I'ma
will
look it
always
up.
be Donna
In
to
our
me.
defense,
Keep
she
worrying.
does refer to herself as Donna in the show so much that it's like I assume that's her real name.
She
It
is
must
Donna at
be.
this point. She has been typecast as Donna.
It's very possible. It happens
But
to all of us.
anyway, Shia LaBeouf thinks he's Harvey Specter. He is not.
Definitely
he is
not.
not that smooth.
Sarah Rafferty is her name.
Sorry,
Ah, Donna.
welcome.
Donna. That's what it is.
Donna Rafferty.
Yeah,
Donna.
Donna.
Sarah Donna
It's also
Rafferty.
spelt. It's also spelt Sarah Rafferty, but Donna.
but pronounced
Pronounced Donna. Yes.
Yes. Phonetically, it's phonetically spelt Sarah Rafferty, but you pronounce it Donna.
The enunciation
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Donna.
We
I like
got
it.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
So next up, I've got Hulk and Black Widow
Agreed. Just agreed.
in the age.
I've got a
like,
rant video coming up about this particular couple in particular. Just like somebody else was telling me, oh well, no, it's because they no, shut up. It makes no sense. It's stupid. I hate it. It's forced.
I honestly think that the only reason they put them together was so that they could let Tony Stark make the hide the zucchini joke.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They're like, well, we need a zucchini joke. How can we do that? Oh, let's give
we
a
need
subplot.
kids to start eating more vegetables.
Every good
Zucchini.
movie
Because the
needs a
whole
zucchini
their
joke,
whole
though.
thing has a zero, like comes to a zero sum. Like at the end, it's
I honestly think it's just I think it's just the sexual tension. Like there was a lot of tension
Well,
between
see-
her and Steve Rogers.
And like somebody
in-
was
in
defending
The Winter
that.
Soldier.
I was on Instagram commenting about that before, and somebody was defending that, being like, "Oh, it's how she was trying to build his trust," and I was like, "No, it's not how you build. Well, no, that's not how you gain a guy's
Maybe,
trust.
but-
It kind of is. Like I don't trust the women who would just try and seduce me. I feel like when a woman come on that hard,
Maybe just a piece of meat.
yeah, we'll see. When a woman comes on that hard, I'd be like, there's got to be an ulterior motive
Something's
here.
going on here.
There's something
She wants
weird,
something.
especially if I'm in a movie.
Like, to me-
Something's
like,
going on here.
Like I think that's what it is. Like their whole thing, and like they talk about running away together, and like you
It's
know
so forced.
he can't raise kids because like what happens when they piss him off and he turns into Hulk and kills them.
No, he can't
And then
make
they
kids.
go
That's
and-
what he was saying.
Oh, that's what it was. And then she goes, and then she's barren
She,
because she had the operation.
yeah, So it's like
to sterilize her. I was like, I still don't want to see them run. Like, I feel like it's just the fact that they can't live normal lives because she's got her fucking, her past, and then he's what he is. Like, it was just too forced.
Yeah, I agree. That's my problem with it. It was just so forced. It was like, it felt like there was no good reason to it besides they wanted to add some kind of love story, and they're like, I guess those two work. And it's like, well, no.
Keep her available so that
we can have
Peter Parker can hit on her in a future movie.
See, I like that
I'm
idea.
very okay with that.
I'm very okay with that,
like, I'm okay with that. Make him the awkward teenager who makes inappropriate comments, and he's like, hold up, I gotta go do this. Go does his shit, and then comes back and keeps hitting on her.
Yeah.
Like, yes, make that shit happen.
I'd be okay with that, too. But
plus, I like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I love me some Mark,
Same here.
and I like him as the Hulk, don't get me wrong. But, like, the last couple... like superhero comics I've read have been Marvel where the Hulk is just a fucking scumbag. Like, he's evil.
Oh,
like, he's
well, some of them he's taking over a planet because
yeah,
like
he's like the last couple things I've read comic wise have been things with the Hulk being bad, and I'm like,
for his character,
it's kind of not tarnished my opinion of him,
Yeah.
but it's put it like on the cusp.
In the Hulk's defense, it was because they sent him to a planet where he had to be a gladiator, and he had to
That's true.
kick everyone's ass so that he was the king, and then he was king and he got bored. Like, once you're the king of a planet, you get bored. So you're like, well, I've got revenge on the mind.
Are you speaking from experience?
I am. Vaguely. Anyways, yeah, so he got bored as a king, so he had to go back. I'm the king of my own universe, which exists up here. I'm pointing at my head for our podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Scottopia.
forget that we're not just all on video.
If we end up on video this week.
True. If
Yeah, if it even
That's a
works
shout out
out.
to Apple. Apple, you need to fucking unlock my account so I can do this shit.
Yes, because I don't have iMovie.
This is why I'm with BlackBerry, just so you guys know. This is why I stick
Wow.
with BlackBerry, because Apple's been fucking my shit up. Sponsor us, Apple. God damn it.
I'm just glad that the spot, like, for being the guy that you guys wanted in to do tech stuff, I'm just glad the audio works week in, week out.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Because that would not be a good look for me.
So last, and not certainly not least, but it could be the least, Ted Mosby and Tracy McConnell, a.k.a.
The mother?
the mom.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was the worst out of all of them.
Like,
would say out of all of
they're
them.
like,
But
It's pretty close.
pretty
there
close.
was more passion
The rest
between
of them
Ted
were more
and
entertaining.
like, I didn't like him and Stella. Was it Stella, the one who left him at the altar? That one was
Yes.
pretty bad. Like, at least the last chick.
I didn't like
at
her.
least the last chick just
I
died.
felt like Ted could have done better.
Yeah. Well,
But Ted was also he was chasing the dream of being a parent at that point too.
that's
like,
true.
She had a kid.
He was marrying
like
the kid
he was,
in the house. Yeah.
he was looking to jump right into the family, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, she had the
that-
family set up. He just wanted to hop in, so didn't want to put in
yeah,
the real work.
he wanted to take over the lease.
Exactly.
On it
He
is
You
what
wanted to take
do.
over the payments.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, like, I
Yeah.
kind of get.
But
that,
I get why you guys
I'm
don't
just-
like
I'm
the
not,
last one couple or his actual wife either.
like, appearance wise and like stuff they have in common. Like, they're absolutely perfect for each other. It's just they don't seem to click, and maybe it's because they were only together on camera for like 2 days.
It was
But-
exactly. It was barely
I
a
think-
season.
I don't think I like Ted and Robin any better.
Oh, I
though.
hated that.
Oh,
ending.
absolutely not.
Hated that.
Honestly,
ending
I didn't
so
like.
much.
I didn't really like Robin as a character, especially
No.
because like she was always in the fold, like as his fallback.
I hated
And
that.
they kind of played it up.
I always hated them having her as a fallback, or like him
Oh,
kind of always being
or-
like, "Oh, I kind of still love her," and it's like, "No, man, you guys didn't work for a reason. Move on."
Or even like her and Barney,
See, I
like
like
they
them.
didn't work.
I see. I agree that they didn't work, but I liked them because they didn't work. Does that make sense?
I guess so, but I didn't like. Them.
I liked their like how they were kind of like they were a little bit similar.
It seemed like they were only together because they were too stubborn to pull the plug again.
Well, that was part of it. Like, I mean, that was the whole episode where they get fat and stuff, right? Like, they both were just so like.
No, I mean like later on, like when they do get married.
Oh, when they do eventually. Well, yeah, and then they get
Yeah.
divorced though too, because.
Afterwards, like the whole build up, like it
Yeah.
seemed like she wanted him to change like most of their shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Just,
Like, they
like-
just
they were just too stubborn.
I agree.
And I was like,
I agree with that. That's what I mean. Like, I liked them before they got married, is what I meant. Like, I just liked them at the first. Like, I liked them pretty much their first set of their relationship before, like, when they broke up, because of. It's been a while since I watched it. I forget what the first reason was now. But you know how they broke up?
They were unhappy.
Because they got fat, right? Yes.
Both times they were unhappy.
Yeah, but I mean the second time
they couldn't make it work,
and they were apart for a while, and then like we don't even really see them break up, right? Like it's an off-camera story or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I haven't watched that show in forever,
so, yeah.
but that show only had one good couple. I think we could all agree, just Marshall and Lily.
Yes, I was gonna say Marshall's mom and Lily's dad, but yeah.
Yeah,
that works too.
No, this is strictly sex. Ted's mom and what was his name? All I remember is him playing the guitar.
Yeah, the guy who sings, and I just like that guy as an actor in general. He's just a goofy guy.
So
that's all the
completes
couples.
my list of least preferred on-screen couples. I'm sure there's more.
I'm sure there's
I'm sure as we start, as soon as we finish recording, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck!
I can't believe I forgot.
God damn it! Why didn't I say Batman and Selena Kyle? Come on, Batman, you know better. Damn it!"
I had that on my list at one point, but then I'm like, I haven't really seen that much, to be honest, to like it. I like the idea of it, but I've never really, I haven't read a comic book with it, so.
Fair enough.
Anyways, I think that's it for all our on-screen couples this week. Should we get to what we watched this week, guys?
On to www www left.
And back on topic.
And that's the Cupid
That was
shuffle.
on topic.
That was.
I didn't get it. So anyways.
So talking about left Cupid shuffle, Craig, what did you watch this week?
You better believe that I watched Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special, because
I like it.
10 months till Christmas, that's what Valentine's Day means to me.
Now that was a key change.
I like that. I still haven't watched this show yet. I keep forgetting to.
I
know I should.
You need to.
Scott's missing all these references.
I am.
Now.
Scott,
do you know who? I was like, I like Michael Bolton. I don't know who this person he's in a relationship with is, but sure, I'll agree with it.
Do you know who Scott Aukerman is?
Of course, he's named after me. No, I have no idea who that is.
He did the Comedy Bang, or he does the Comedy Bang Bang podcast, which is now a television show.
Oh, okay.
And he writes a bunch of stuff. So he wrote the Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's fairly well known for writing ridiculous comedy.
Right on.
And that's exactly what it is. It's basically it's the cast of SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the people who were smart enough to leave SNL when they did.
Yep.
They got together and they're like, "Hey, Michael Bolton, y'all want to come do some shit?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, let's do
I got
this."
nothing else to do. Every time I do something in public, my album sales go up. So yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Like, you're really going to appreciate. They do a little montage for.
Montage.
What was it? I'm forgetting his name. I know he's with the Silver Bullet Band. Ugh. They have the whole scene from Risky Business where Tom Cruise slides in his underwear.
Yeah.
Just take that old records off the shit. Like Michael Bolton sings that song.
Oh yeah, well he has a
Bob
version
Seger,
of that.
that's
Yeah,
who it
Bob
was.
Seger. Yeah, he has his own version of that song.
Yeah, he sings that song.
Yeah, no, I've heard that.
But they do.
Yeah.
They kind of rip off like the
Risky Business
Nice.
reference for it. But the story behind it is just so fucking outrageous.
And then the sketches in the middle that are fantastic.
They cut away from the song to give you like a build up to them knowing they're gonna have to do it.
Oh, nice! I like that.
Like I don't want to give too much away, but I highly recommend it.
I've been meaning to get to this. Like I said, it just my Netflix thing got deleted like a month ago, and now I have nothing left of a list, so I have to make a new list.
That should be at the top of that list.
Well, no,
Definitely.
It'll have to be after I finish other things. But yes, I will add that to the list.
No. Valentine's Day is coming up in
It's an hour and like 15 minutes.
Okay,
You won't regret it.
I'll get to it.
Valentine's Day is this coming week.
I still gotta watch
You
Black
need to
Lightning,
get to it.
and then I'll watch it after.
So? God damn it. Fine, I accept that.
Yeah. Anyways.
But that's what Valentine's Day means to us.
So that was one of the things I watched. I also watched Vacation, like the the original Vacation movie, because I have it on DVD and I didn't have internet for a while because I moved. Surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, I restarted Firefly.
Nice.
So that was fun. I watched Serenity Parts 1 and 2, like the first 2 episodes.
Okay, yeah.
And then I also restarted watching Dilbert the animated series.
Nice.
Fuck yes.
All of these things that I just mentioned, aside from Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special, I have on DVD. And so I did a rare thing where I watched DVDs.
Nice.
So is that...
Craig, back to the Dilbert thing. I just want to come back. Did you realize that a lot of the little side jokes in it are built around Seinfeld?
Yes.
Like, I did not until watching Seinfeld recently, having it playing in the background at the shop. I was like, holy shit, that is a Dilbert joke. They do that joke in Dilbert.
I didn't
like
appreciate...
like Computron.
Yeah.
Or
CompuComp.
whatever, where they reference CompuComp.
Yep.
But they also reference what was it? Movie phone. That's what it is. Where like they call it in.
Yeah.
And he's the curly-haired or pointy-haired boss is trying to order tickets to Gruesome Carnage at the Big Mall Cineplex. There's an episode where Kramer pretends to be movie phone, so people just keep calling Kramer, and he gives like bullshit definitions of the movie.
I remember that one now.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm watching that episode. I'm like, holy shit, that's a fucking. They do that on Dilbert. Plus, it helps that Jason Alexander plays Catbert.
Yes.
CompuComp is Jerry Seinfeld.
I didn't really appreciate how funny Dilbert was the first time through, but the second time through, I'm getting it. It's
oh god, it's
so good.
Like, I'm a little biased because it's my favorite cartoon strip.
Yes.
Next to For Better or For Worse, but for hilarity purposes, Dilbert's my number one. But fuck, it's so good. So good. I wish they didn't take it off Netflix, but at the same time, I own it on DVD, so I can't complain too much.
So do I. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
It was a couple years ago. And then the last thing that I watched, and Andrew, you already know this, but Scott, prepare to be shocked because this is entirely out of character for me. I watched Chicago.
A musical?
Yeah. And that movie is terrible.
Excuse yourself, motherfucker?
I knew
what?
he wouldn't like it.
What?
As soon as he said Chicago, I'm like, he doesn't like Chicago.
It was
What did you not like about it? Miramax
all
killed
the
it.
stuff in the
movie.
middle between the songs.
What?
It was
All
so
the not singing.
Yeah, it was so not memorable.
Well, that's...
What was it memorable about it?
I don't know.
It's a story of a broke-ass Chicago girl who kills her boyfriend because he's a scumbag. She's trying to get herself out of prison because she's going to end up on death row for murder because they were not pleasant to women who killed people back then. I mean, they're probably not pleasant to them now, but back then they sing a whole bunch of songs. And her dream is to become famous and get her 15 minutes of fame.
I loved the songs, and the story was okay. It was
it's
all the stuff in the middle I could have done without. And John C. Reilly was a bit weird.
He means the story.
No, I like the story.
It's the musical version of Flashdance.
I don't know. I've never seen Flashdance.
Man. Who are you? Like, I don't even know you right now. You don't like Chicago. It's got Catherine Zeta-Jones. Richard Gere. John C.
That was
Reilly.
weird.
In a
That's what was
non-comical
weird
role.
about it.
I love when he does
was
non-comedy roles.
Like, he's good at it.
He is.
Like, he plays like the super awkward, like, just down on his luck guy. He's just trying to provide. Like, he works his 9 to 5 at the garage, goes home, fucking doesn't do his wife well enough, goes back to work. Like, he's just doing his best.
Just getting through
I
life.
didn't.
With a whole bunch of good songs thrown
I didn't
in.
say okay. The things that you've picked out are all things I liked. I liked the songs.
So what didn't you like
the
about it?
stuff in the middle. I could have done.
You didn't like when
No,
they
I liked
didn't
the
like when they weren't
story,
singing.
but it just seemed the parts because you could do the entire thing without the non-singing parts in the middle. Because I got because I didn't pay attention
So you basically want Chicago to be
Yes,
a Meatloaf
can we
song,
do that,
is what
please?
You're saying? You want
Like tomorrow?
You want Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, but Paradise by the Cops
Yes, please.
Floodlights?
See, that doesn't sound like such a bad pitch now, does it?
It sounds like the
It
name
actually
of the title.
doesn't. Meatloaf, I know you can't sing, but Jim Steinman, make it happen. Write me a
See?
song about it.
Like I
it
didn't
happen.
find the dialogue and the acting parts in the middle to be memorable, and I got the gist of the story without watching those. So I liked the story, and I liked the music, but the rest of it was not.
So you like the concept behind the story and the
Yeah, I
music.
could have
you
done
just
without
don't.
the middle parts.
I'm not going to
You
give you a
should,
pass on this one, but I accept your opinion.
We
At
respect
least
everybody's opinion here at the Front Girl
You're
podcast.
wrong.
At least I watched it.
You're wrong,
Like, give
but
me a
I'm going to
tiny
let
bit
it
of credit
happen.
for watching it. I didn't decide to watch it, but I watched it anyway.
I can't give you any credit if it wasn't a choice.
Yeah, you get 0 credit now.
I've seen Bridget Jones's Baby and all the associated
I-
movies leading up to that, and I don't expect credit
Well,
for
you
sitting
should.
down and watching it.
Again, I was forced to watch Titanic when I was younger. I don't take credit for watching
Okay,
that movie.
you do deserve. Everyone who's ever sat through that movie
I
deserves
can't
credit
say I
because
did
fuck
sit
that
through the
movie.
whole thing. Was that all you,
I
watched this
stand
week
by
then,
my.
Craig?
Go back
I
and watch
stand by my
Chicago again
opinion.
and enjoy it this time, Craig.
Andrew, what did you watch then this week? Did you watch any musicals?
Okay, so I did not watch any musicals. I watched pretty much what Craig watched, minus Chicago, but I should have watched Chicago because I love that shit.
Yep.
I watched Batman the Animated Series. I binged through the second season of it, and getting through that, I watched them all recently, but getting through that, I was like, shit, you know what? I really need to get like the new Batman Adventures, like the one that came out right after that, because I don't think I ever actually watched that series of a cartoon.
Isn't that?
I think
I think they combine that in the DVD sets that you already have.
do they?
I think so.
They
I think
they
I read
haven't.
that. Is that like because you have the 4-box set, right?
Yeah. I haven't watched 4. I've
Yeah,
seen
I'm
1,
pretty
2,
sure
and 3.
4 is that series, if I remember reading correctly. Because I remember when I read up about those ones that they had combined 2 of the animated Batman series as one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, so
I hope
I would
so,
just
because
double check
I'm
that before
I'm
you go
excited,
looking for it. Yeah,
because I'm excited to see Tim Drake.
yeah.
But anyway, so I watched Batman the Animated Series
Nice.
season number 2.
That's coming from Amazon right now
And
for me.
I Snapchatted. I don't know if I Snapchatted you, Craig, but I know I Snapchatted you, Scott.
Yeah.
The one scene in one of the episodes where he's fighting a ninja.
Oh yeah.
Like at a volcano, and he's like, psh, 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 and he just slaps
yeah, just
the guy.
smacks him in the face. It's just like, that's why I love Batman. Yeah.
I'm Batman, so fuck you.
Yeah.
You're
You
getting
get
slapped.
I'm so badass. I don't need to knock you out. I'm just gonna slap you to teach you a
I'm gonna
lesson.
slap the shit out of you because I'm Batman. Bat slap.
Bat slap.
Next is Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's
Obviously,
Day
that's a
special,
key
like we
change.
already talked
So I
about.
was the only one who didn't watch that this week then. Okay. Why don't you guys give me these memos?
Didn't I send it to you? I did. I sent it to the Forgot to Grow Up Snapchat group. I put that it was a Valentine's Day
I
special.
didn't know what that meant.
That's
you
true.
didn't put a
That's
you
true,
didn't put
he
a
did.
caption. You sent
I
a
did. I
picture of
put
Michael
this is
Bolton. I
a
was
this is
just
an
like, cool.
annual tradition. Michael Bolton. That
Yeah.
was what it said.
That's true.
Oh,
He did. At
you
the
did
very
put
least,
that.
you could have questioned it, Scott.
I should have questioned what the
You
annual
could have been
tradition
like, what
was.
tradition?
I thought there was
Yeah, well, it
directed
kinda
mainly
was,
towards
but-
Andrew.
Well, it
I felt
was,
like including
but-
you, Scott.
Well, I
You're part of
appreciate that.
this.
I just didn't get it till now.
So next up on
Yeah.
my list of what I watched this week, I've got
Obviously.
Robert's cholesterol-filled diner, Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Some
Bob's
of our
Burgers, right? I was
references
just
are
like,
getting a
Can't
little
hear
bit
them all.
more obscure as we go along with our
They're getting a little stretched out because we've hit
Robert
the good ones
Belcher's
on
basement ground
already.
mostly meat-based patties was my most recent one, and it doesn't get much worse
Yeah,
than that.
that was good. Hit it on the nose.
Oh, boy.
For those of you who can't see the video, I just hit myself on the nose. Next up, I got Gotham by Gaslight.
oh, you end up. How was that?
I'm not going to give
words
too
are
much
coming
away.
out. I've been wanting to order
I'm not
that
going
to
to give too
watch
much
it.
away. It's really good.
It was okay.
It's.
Well, I know what it's about.
I was a little skeptical going into it. Like, I haven't read the graphic novel.
Neither have I. But I know what it's about.
But yeah, but I was a little weirded out about the whole concept of Gotham before, like,
in the 1800s,
being modern day Gotham, but also being in London.
Yeah, it being
with Jack the Ripper, which is a weird idea to me.
See, I like
but
that
watching
idea.
Watching it, I really liked it, and the way they tie in all the the extra characters.
Okay.
Like they're like Poison Ivy's like a hooker. Like she's a lady in the night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I like that they've got like they use the name, they show who it is.
Are all the Gotham sirens just hookers?
I'm not going to comment on it.
Did they not get more creative than that? I hope they got more creative
comment
than
on
that. They didn't, did they?
No comment. Go watch it. But it is pretty good.
Okay, that's good. That's a good recommendation.
So next couple things on the list, I got mildly educational with it. I watched Walking with Dinosaurs / Walking with Prehistoric Beasts because Big Daddy's all about that shit.
Nice.
If it's dinosaurs, it's good for me.
Right on.
I also watched the first collection of Planet Earth.
Right on.
Because I got that on sale on Amazon, so I was like, fuck yes, let's buy that. Let's watch some educational stuff at the shop some days, so it's not all Seinfeld all the time.
Seinfeld's educational.
That's probably a good idea.
And the last thing, that's true. It teaches you how to not be fucking stupid by doing the opposite of what they do.
1990s.
That's fair.
None of it.
That's one way.
I wouldn't want to emulate any of them, but not one of them. Maybe Frank, but
even then,
just to be cynical and old and grouchy. But leading up into the last thing on my list, and I've watched a couple episodes of it. It's called The Good Place. I imagine you guys have probably seen it on Netflix.
Yes. Well, I'm surprised
it's
you
not
haven't
terrible.
already got to it because that's what this
right.
Ted Danson, right?
Ted Danson,
and
yep.
Christian
He's
Bell.
the reason I watched it.
Two people that we just love on this podcast in one show. I haven't seen it yet either though. But I've been meaning to.
I'm a couple episodes in. It's not the funniest show ever, but it's interesting. But
it has Ted Danson.
It's only got, I think, 13
and
episodes.
That's all that really matters.
So it's got Ted Danson. It's got Ted Danson playing a non-human in a human's body. So it's his character.
All
is
right.
probably
Well, I
the
guess
best
I know
part
what
of
I'm
the
doing
show.
with the rest of my night.
Like he's spoilers. He plays like some not even like extraterrestrial, just like some higher form of being.
Yeah, because
who creates the afterlife. Like he's one of they call them architects.
Oh, okay, cool.
Who design these communities, which is if you go to the good place, which is heaven, or the bad place, which is hell. And they I think they influence and have like a medium place or a middle place later on. But so far at my point, they haven't gotten there yet. So they have the good place and the bad place. And the good places, they're like little communities. Just pardon me.
Just gone.
Tired. That energy boost is just
gone.
I was running off.
I'm
just crashing.
It'll do happen.
God damn. But anyways, so Ted Danson, he's an architect who developed. This is his first community he builds. And he chose that his human form that he would look like would be this not elderly but an older man.
Silver-haired
whereas
fox.
these he dresses like Elton John. Like he's got the crazy blazers, or Deion Sanders is a better
like
version.
that.
Dressed like
awesome.
Deion Sanders, the bow tie. And he doesn't know much about humanity, so he thinks it's almost like the Lego movie where they've got his museum of all things human.
Oh, okay.
He's got the police remover of Nail. They've got the blanket of Bandaid. He's got all the stupid office and home supplies. Those are things that he cherishes. He's got a bucket full of paper clips because paper clips are the best thing in the world to him.
Yeah.
Just stupid little shit.
Okay.
And it's a decent show. I'd recommend it. You're not gonna
never lose anything
from
watching Ted
it, but you're not gonna
Danson.
lose anything either.
That's fair.
It's just
Except your time.
Exactly. It's enough to watch.
Yeah.
Don't go out of your way by any means, but I would recommend putting it in the queue.
It's on Netflix, so I'll throw it in the list.
Absolutely. But that sums up everything I watched this week. Actually, that's not true. I take it back. I watched. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. The Churchill movie that came out.
Oh, not Phantom Thread.
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour, yeah.
I saw that, and it is phenomenal.
Good?
Like, Gary Oldman just bangs it out of the park.
Right on. Which one did you like better, that or Dunkirk? Did you see Dunkirk yet, or?
I saw Dunkirk, yeah.
Which one did you like better? Because apparently this one goes into the end of Dunkirk, like, time-wise, like, wartime-wise.
No, it leads... This is before Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, what leads into Dunkirk.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I was like, that's interesting. This makes me want to watch both of them just to see if there's any kind of
I would recommend both of them. I'd put them on par.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Like, having seen Dunkirk first and knowing a little more, not firsthand, obviously, but, like, having a little more information
about that
in my mind about Dunkirk.
No, I know what you mean, yeah. Because I don't know many details, like, but I assume I'll know a little more.
I don't know much of the Europe details about World War II, to be honest with you.
That's
like,
World War
Canadian
I,
shit
but,
that happened, but
Vimy Ridge.
So, like, yeah.
That's all I
well, that was World War One.
Damn it! See,
One.
Couldn't have gone like Juno Beach or
I was
Liberation
so proud of remembering Vimy Ridge.
Liberation of Italy.
Not even the right war. Let's just strike that. Let's do our first edit ever and just take that out. Like, God.
Fuck.
Anyways, just keep going. Keep stopping.
Arthur Curry, not Aquaman. But anyways, so having seen Dunkirk and having a concept of what it was about. So when they reference it in Darkest Hour, I was like, oh shit, I know what's going on now. Because he's like so intense about it. Jesus. Great movie. I would recommend it to anyone.
Right on.
And just another thing that Gary Oldman's acting caliber is just far and away just blows my mind. Like, looking at him, like, he doesn't really look like Gary Oldman, and then the way he talks, like, you wouldn't tell it's him, but then it is, and like you can tell when you break it down that it's him. But oh, for sure. So, like, definitely rush out and see Darkest Hour if it's still in theaters anywhere
around
other than the Aaron in Campbellford.
Nice shout out. Right on. So should I let you guys know what I watched this week then?
Yes, because that is the conclusion of my list.
Sure before I hopped in. Well, I watched a lot of DVDs as well for once because
having
I borrowed
fun
a stack
isn't
from
hard
the
when
library.
Scott has an Ottawa City.
Shout out to libraries.
Thank you for having new releases. It's so true. I have books.
Having fun isn't hard.
DVDs. I could even borrow video games if I played video games. But anyways.
Oh shit.
I don't though. Anyways, so I borrowed some DVDs from there and to catch up on some of the releases from last year that I hadn't gotten to yet. Things like the Fate of the Furious. I'm sorry, that's the Fast and the Furious number 8. Fate of the Furious.
Nostalgia.
I have absolutely no use for those movies.
I would mostly agree with you. I saw the first 4 because my dad really liked them. So when I was younger, I had always seen them, and then I fell off at 5, 6 or something like that. But I wanted to check out this one because
I don't want to say the first couple made sense because no fucking way.
But they did. They kind of did.
But it was something that might happen. It was a little sketchy, but possible.
They didn't go full.
And then when they turn around and they start being their own fucking secret service, and shit, I was nah.
I agree with you on that. They did take it to. They found a certain weird niche that they could easily fit it into, where people love this random team of dudes who just come from nowhere, but are apparently the world's best agents at driving shit.
You know who else did that? Fucking James Bond, okay? Stop making Fast and Furious movies. Make more James Bonds. I've been waiting years for another one.
They're
you don't need more Fast and Furious.
They need to come out faster. I don't need 2 friggin' Fast and Furious movies. I need more Blofeld, damn it.
I'm not arguing that the Fate of the Furious is better than Fast and Furious, is better than James Bond, because James Bond was obviously a lot better, and Kingsman's
the Fate
better.
Makes me furious.
Yes. But this movie did have a few fun little things that I just wanted to bring up. Like, at the beginning, there's this scene with The Rock, and he's at a soccer game, but you don't know he's at a soccer game, because all you're seeing is him shouting at barking out commands and stuff, and then you pan down
and being real intense.
Yeah, exactly. But you're just focused on his face. And then you pan out, and
is he coaching little kids?
He's coaching his daughter's soccer team, and they're 8, and he's being super intense. And then this dude comes up from his, from the agency, right? And he just pretty much is like, man, if you're trying to talk to me while I'm watching my daughter's game, I will punch you across this field or something like that, right? And I'm just like, he's like, are you gonna
something
cheer?
only The Rock
Yeah,
could
exactly,
say,
like
right?
something like that. Like, oh no, he could do that. He could physically do that if he wanted to. And it's just like, yeah, this guy just starts clapping, and I'm just like, that's a fun
I've
thing.
seen Jumanji. I know how hard he can punch
Exactly.
people.
So it's just like that was a fun little scene. There was a fun breakout scene. All my favorite thing about this movie was The Rock doing stuff. To be honest, so The Rock breaking out of
That's
prison.
like any movie The Rock is in.
Exactly. But this one, I felt he got to be the most rock because he just got to go like because the Fast and Furious franchise in general is just balls to the wall, out of this world crazy. And I get why you wouldn't like that, but sometimes for me. Like, I'm never going to watch this movie ever again, to be honest. But
But you say
I'm
you
kind
can
of
say
happy
you
I
saw
watched it because I'm just like, yeah, it was fun. Cool. But if at the same time, if I'm ever somewhere where it's on a TV, I wouldn't change the channel just because it was fun. It was fun enough.
Okay. You know what really torched that franchise for me? It was I took my younger brother to see number 7.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious 7. When it was like opening night when it was in theaters, because he was super into those movies at the time. And when they show Paul Walker, like the first scene with him, he got a standing ovation in the theaters, like he was some fucking hero who died and he went to war. And I was like, guys, calm the fuck down. Like, if you guys want to cry for that preview Max that came on before this. Like, it's got an animal. Why the fuck are you standing up and applauding like an actor?
Well,
and sure, it sucks that he died 100%.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't a hero. If you're living your life through Paul Walker, you need to step back and reevaluate everything.
Yeah.
Watch a Batman movie or something.
Connect with a
But
Batman.
then that's not even it. At the end of the movie, when they do like that,
goodbye,
it's
yeah.
super intense. Well, I'll see you again moment when they part ways.
Yeah.
Like there were 2 dry eye, well, I guess 4 dry eyes in the theater.
You and your brother.
Mine and my brother's. Everyone else was fucking crying, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like,
I have one question though.
why are you guys emotionally connected
Have you
to
watched
this?"
all 6 of the ones before that? Before you?
Yes, I had to binge watch them to know what the fuck was going
Okay,
on.
I just wanted to make
before
sure. Well,
I went to see
you
it.
just have the emotional connection to the family. You were part of the family. You're not part of the Fast and Furious family. They like fans of the Fast and Furious family are part of the family.
If I was part of that family, I would definitely.
But this is a weird family.
What's his
There's
face?
a family down the road that just always causing trouble. Always has the cops down there, and you're just like, oh god. But you're also.
I would
kind
be
of okay with
Tyrese in that family.
Yeah, you would be.
I'd be the one that he's just there. Like, why the fuck am I here? And everyone's like, God damn! And this guy's. We haven't killed this guy off yet. Like, come on. That would be me, because I'd be like, guys, like Paul Walker's dead. It sucks. Maybe we should not make movies anymore. And they'd be like, nah, fuck it.
See,
And I'd be like,
you
well,
say that, but
fuck, I'm
Tyrese,
done.
like the guy who plays Tyrese, is the only one out of everybody in the crew who's trying to get his own solo one, like really hard. Like The Rock was given a solo, like
No,
one.
I meant like the way like everyone looks at him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah, true,
everyone in the crew's kind of like this fucking
This
guy.
guy.
Like he has his assets, sure, but
He doesn't though.
fucking this guy.
This guy. That's very apparent in this one.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I'd like the way they look at me is the way I would be. I'd be like fucking Jesus
That's
Christ.
understandable. But anyways, I'm just gonna quickly go through the rest of
Move
ours
on,
because
yeah.
this is a long episode.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
Remember when
so
you said this was going to be a short episode,
I
Scott?
don't understand how we talk so long about couples. I will never understand that.
I blame Friends.
I think our
We
love
talked
bitterness
45
came out
minutes
in this
about Friends.
episode, so it's bad. So I'm just gonna quickly go through the other movies that I saw.
Okay. Let's rhyme them
Yeah.
off.
So Now You See Me 2, King Kong
Yep.
Skull Island, which was really
movie.
good.
Nope.
Wait, didn't you watch Now You See Me 2 last week?
Yeah, I thought so.
Did I?
Maybe
I,
you
know,
watched it
I might have
again.
wrote it down twice.
were
I
we?
forgot if I wrote.
I think you mentioned Kong last week
Yeah, you
too,
did.
didn't you? Or was that me?
Scott, did you just watch the same movies again?
Did I write down?
Or-
Did I have the wrong list? Maybe I have the wrong list.
Maybe you have the wrong
I
I
list.
think you might
swear
have
I
the
didn't
wrong-
watch these
wrong
till
list, man.
like this weekend, but whatever.
No, we definitely
Pretty
talked
sure we
about
I
it.
might have
about
mentioned that I was going to watch them, but I hadn't.
No, I definitely remember talking like on the
Okay.
podcast.
Well, maybe I
about
just
Now You See
forgot
Me
that
2.
when I was writing my list. Anyways, I watched
And Kong sounds familiar.
Kong Skull Island. That I definitely didn't watch till
Yeah.
like 2 days ago.
No.
I know I watched that 2 days ago, so we could have talked about it last week.
We might
Well,
have.
we talked
Fair
about
We
King
time
Kong
travel.
last week.
We did.
Maybe that's
yes,
what it was.
that
I
was
didn't watch. I hadn't seen Skull Island yet, so I watched
Okay.
Skull Island on the weekend.
Now you have. What did you think?
I liked it. We got to see King Kong beat up a bunch of like other animals on the the island. That's all I wanted.
Did you have any issues with it?
I have some issues. I can ignore issues in movies because I'm just like, well, why am I gonna dwell on issues? Like,
my only issue with King Kong, like as King Kong, was he was a little too intelligent. Like his ability to grasp the situation and learn how to use tools
and my
that
counterpoint
fast.
to that would be his brain is literally the size of an island, or the size of like a car, at least. That's bigger than our brains.
Comparatively, though, that's the thing, right? Like, our brains to us is what makes it like.
I see what you're saying, like the size of his brain to the size of his body. But
you look at a Stegosaurus; they would have been dumb as shit.
But they also had smaller
their
brains,
brain
though.
Was the size.
Yeah, but I'm saying his brain
But
is
he's
proportionally
fucking-
big to how big he is. So the fact that he's a skyscraper means he's got a penthouse-sized brain.
Yeah, but he's an ape.
He's a more advanced ape, clearly, though.
Like my
Regular
issue is
apes
that
don't
he,
grow to
like-
be that big either. Like,
No, but he's a giant fucking
I will
ape.
agree with you.
Like
Sometimes
he's got the intelligence.
Sometimes
Like
he's
to
a little
me,
too
it
human.
should translate. He's got the intelligence of an ape.
Well, see, I think he should be slightly smarter than an ape because he's King Kong. He's not just a giant.
He's not Neanderthal though. Like Neanderthal is a new.
I
Like,
would-
if it was King Australopithecus, I would understand him using tools, but it's not.
But we don't know his actual scientific designation. We don't talk about that in any of the movies.
I just watched Walking with Prehistoric Beasts this
You
week.
did.
I'm on
Why
top
did
of this
this
shit.
that's
take
what I'm
such
saying.
a weird turn?
because we're really
Science!
tired out of the way. My point was I really liked him beating up other animals in that movie. And
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Monster on monster.
Those super creepy dark things.
Yeah.
I just don't think he shouldn't have understood.
Certain
if I
things.
pick this up and use it, I can use it as a fucking flail or whatever.
That one I had a problem with. I'll agree with that one. That one I'm like
That
was, a little too
was
much
my
process.
that was my main
did
thing.
have
Like him
one or
like
two-
figuring out where.
Because I don't have a problem with him being a little smarter. Like I agree, he shouldn't be able to drive a car.
Like
But
that was my thing. Like he shouldn't pick up on how to use like
certain
those
things,
type of
yeah.
tools.
I agree with that.
Like
yeah.
that fast. That
He
was my
should still
issue.
be smarter than just like I like that.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
he should
Like
just be a monkey.
he's living alone. He's taking care of himself. He's got like normal instincts and
what
shit
did you
that
think
kick
of
in.
us seeing his parents dead?
That was interesting to me.
that
Like
we
to see
knew
that he
had
like he was the
parents. I like the fact that he's
like that he was the
race.
last in the line of the family, and like his
And it's not
brothers
just a
died.
one-off.
And,
like Godzilla to me has always been a
Yeah.
one-off, right? Like, oh, Godzilla was some kind of like accident, right? And I've always thought of King Kong as
Yeah.
that way. But now the fact that they kind of built it as, oh no, there were hundreds at one point of these giant monkeys. Or giant apes or gorillas or whatever you want to call them, Kongs. There was plenty of Kongs before, and he's just the last of them. And I'm like, I like that because I like that.
Well,
it's a little more
that
rich
whole-
to it, the mythology.
that whole universe, I like that they haven't like just said it was like a nuclear problem. Like
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
that they've come out and they've
They're
established
like, no,
that
the nuclear
these
The
monsters.
nuclear testing was
existed.
to fight them. Like these monsters were already
Yeah.
here. Godzilla, no, he was already here before us. We were doing these nuclear tests to try and attack him, and I like that
Oh,
idea
yeah.
too.
And Skull Island has its own creatures
Yeah.
from like between Kong and I forget what they
Yeah,
call
and I
them,
like how it
the
ends
night
off with
whatevers.
us like getting little flashes of all the monsters we're eventually
Yeah.
gonna see, the Mothras, all of that. I'm excited. I'm really excited for that to keep going.
Yeah, where they introduce Monarch like as like
Yeah.
a secret.
Well, I really liked
secret
how they
agency.
introduced that in Godzilla already, and then they reintroduced it again. In
Well, I
this.
like that. Where they do like the beginning of
Yeah,
Monarch, where they
exactly, how
tell
it
the
started.
group.
Yeah, I agree. I really like that about it. But
My only issue is I want to see a sequel just with the actors,
oh yeah.
just because I love them. Anyways, back onto your
We
list.
got to get through this. It's
After
the
5 minutes of
longest,
Kong.
yes. I also watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It was okay.
Okay.
I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
I feel like we talked
No,
about that
we've-
last
we've
week
watched
Based
too.
on a
Not
book?
that you
We've
watched
talked
it,
about
but I remember.
Based on a book?
I definitely remember talking
yeah,
about
that's why I'm
that.
just mentioning it quickly. It was okay. Weird ending. That's all I'm going to say about that. I also watched The Tick. I know I'd watched that last week, but I finished watching it. I was annoyed with it though because it only was 6 episodes, but it was really good. It ended on
Come on, Amazon.
It ended on a legit cliffhanger, meaning the evil guy says the word cliffhanger. The episode ends. He's like, haha, cliffhanger. And the episode ends, and I really enjoyed that.
So it's Sopranos. It like almost Soprano
yeah,
you.
it
Eh?
very much so. I don't know. I didn't see The Sopranos, but this guy, the bad.
Well,
guy,
the Sopranos it ends like mid.
oh,
and then it
well,
cuts.
see, no, this guy's just like the evil guy is just like, haha, cliffhanger, as he has like the hero, the Tick, over something, right? Like you just capture them,
Okay.
and you're just like, turns to the camera and it's just like, haha, cliffhanger, and then it goes black, and that was the end of it. And I was just like,
see, I love that.
So do I. That's what I was saying. I loved it.
I'd be so pissed that it was done.
That's what I mean. I was annoyed that it was
next
6,
year to see it.
I was annoyed that it was 6 episodes because I was like, oh, this is your cliffhanger? Damn it.
Were they half-hour episodes at least?
Yeah, like 20 minute, half-hour episodes.
But
yeah, that one was good. It was enjoyable. It was worth the 6 episodes. I was still disappointed I didn't get more. But yeah, the rest was just stuff I always watch. The Flash, Supergirl, Black Lightning I'm going to watch after, and then Grand Tour. But yeah, that's everything I watched this week. Apparently a couple repeats. But yeah, that's everything I watched this week. You guys mentioned everything you watched, right? So we just got to do some quick shout-outs before we end today. I just want to give a quick shout-out to all our new Instagram and Twitter followers. Thank you guys for following us and keeping up with us. Special shout-out to our friends across the pond at the
Weirdly across the
Films
pond
podcast. I really enjoy
I didn't know we had market penetration.
All the way.
In a different time zone, much less.
We we do, Craig. We do.
We love you guys.
Yes. So special shout out to them, and a special shout out to our fellow Ontario podcast Nerdum, because they're in Ottawa as well as me. So shout out to you guys. Thanks everyone for following us and shouting us out as well. And you should guys, anyone who listens to us, should go check them out.
Just a quick reference point thrown out here. We have episode 20 coming up in 2 weeks. And we're actually looking for a special guest host.
Yes,
we have a 4th spot in our video when we publish it, and we're looking to put you in it.
So if you have an idea for a good topic for that episode, for our 20th episode, go ahead and send us an email or comment on one of our videos. I'm going to be posting this on our Instagram and our Twitter as well, with more details so you guys all can know about that. You'll probably see that post before you even hear this episode, but if you haven't, you can go find that on our everywhere where you can find us. If you literally type in Forgot to Grow Up anywhere that's attached to the internet, it'll eventually get you to us.
It may be on the 17th page, really but we'll be there.
You can go anywhere.
It's 6 degrees of separation to the Forgot to Grow Up
There's
podcast.
like 3 degrees of separation on all of the internet for us. I made it that way. We are that unique of a name, I swear, maybe, kind of. If you add podcast in at the end, we are 100% the one that will always eventually going to come up, sort of, eventually.
We own the domain name, so we are there.
We are 100% there. Anyways.
And luckily, we forgot to grow up.
Thanks for listening this week, guys. Bye.
Well, everybody, that just wrapped up another episode of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. Be sure you like, subscribe, comment below. We love hearing from you. And don't you forget, luckily we forgot to grow up.